All right, St. Louis. I'd like to say shout out to St. Louis, my favorite place, St. Louis. St. Louis, we're going to go to school this evening, St. Louis, on this beautiful Friday here in Florida. We're going to school. I want you to bear with me, St. Louis. I'm going to go as the Spirit leads me to go. Unfortunately, we've established so many things that are not true. And the reason they're not true is because the mind that established the things that we perceive as being true is undeveloped. So an undeveloped mind can't reach perfection, so therefore it can't reach perfected things. If the car is able to use gasoline and they later determine that the car can use electric, then they later find out that the car can use solar, then they later find out that the car can use the vacuum fluctuation of everything, which is 10 to the negative 33 in the Planck constant. That tells me that we haven't reached the truth. We're living incomplete. We must establish everything that there is to establish before we can say we've subsequently reached truth. Until then, nothing is true. From what you believe, to what is made, to what you see, to what you taste, to what you hear, is not true. Because in order to be able to see, touch, taste, smell, and hear truth, you must have the power of mind to be able to extrapolate it at a level in which you're going to be able to perceive it as complete. If not, you're not going to know. But yet, you're not looking for anything beyond your level of capacity because you can't perceive anything beyond the level of your mind. Everything is relative. From inertial frames of reference, we all have our own frames of reference. I'm one to believe that we all are our own universe. You might not be able to understand it, but everything that you see, touch, smell, hear is based upon your electrical impulses literally firing and allowing you to see what has fired and what it has manifested into. Unfortunately, we are one step ahead of cavemen, so that tells me that our electrical impulses haven't reached enough power to be able to magnify what we're seeing billions of times smaller, so we can see it at the micro, at the molecular subatomic level at absolute negative 273.15 Celsius, minus distorted view, minus friction and heat. We unfortunately follow the traditions of men: Einstein, Isaac Newton, Galileo, Copernicus, Socrates, Aristotle. We followed these people, but yet didn't realize that these people were incomplete. We're still following general relativity with Einstein, and Einstein came up with that back in the early 1900s, and we're still following that based upon semiconductors and transistors. Everything is based upon that principle, no different than triangulating via satellites, 24 satellites in orbit, in order to be able to see or literally come up with your location. You need a GPS global positioning system based upon the satellite, which is above orbit, and you having your cell phone. In order to be able to get your correct location, your cell phone has to synchronize with the satellite in orbit, but yet the satellite in orbit has a different time than your cell phone. So that tells me, without you making the transition of properly synchronizing the satellite with the cell phone, you will be off by 6 miles, or say 6 kilometers, unless there is an adjustment made to your cell phone. And that's pretty much how it works. We believe that we're physical beings. We taste and touch and smell and hearing and feeling good sexually and all these other different lustful and addictive things, but yet we haven't reached a higher level of cognition to know that there's more to know, and as a result of knowing what there is to know, we can now come to the realization that we never knew. I'm trying, St. Louis. I can only do what I'm capable of doing, but I'd be damned if I don't fight for the truth. I'm one to believe that Tom, Dick, and or Harry shouldn't be able to shoot you and you're minding your own business. You're thinking, well, if he has a gun, and if I'm at a place in which I don't need to be, he can shoot me. No, you don't understand. What we haven't yet come to the realization to understand is there is no place. It's only sound. If you're trapped in an earth magnetic field going clockwise, which is the gravitational pull, 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time, you're subject to a problem because you don't know when someone can do something to you. However, if you're able to break free from the matrix, you would have the potential and the ability to reach a level of speed far beyond what they're capable of reaching if they're living in 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. So as a result, you've reversed the laws of thermodynamics and you're going back the other way, meaning you've already reached the speed necessary to remove yourself from 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. So as a result, you're now operating in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th dimension. You're moving so fast that you can't even come in contact with someone that wants to shoot you because you're moving too fast. It's just like if I leave Florida and take a flight to St. Louis, which is about 900 plus miles away, we'll say. And if I had a Voyager 2 that can travel at 25, 30,000 miles an hour, and you in a Cessna going about 400 miles an hour, I'm going to get there so much faster than the Cessna if I'm in the Voyager. The mind works the same way. Depending on the strength of the mind, it's going to determine your ability to be able to extrapolate in which you need to extrapolate and understand. So as a result, you're going to be able to come up with the conclusions and the answers a lot sooner than someone that doesn't have the developed mind. In order to even come up with the answer, you must leave the gravitational pull of Earth. You're thinking, well, where do we go if we leave Earth? Because Earth is, I'm walking on it. No, you're not walking. You're encoding it. Earth is the number 3 planet. There's supposedly 8 planets. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt in reference to 8 planets. It's not a big deal. But we'll say the furthest planet is Neptune, which is literally billions of miles away from Earth. So in other words, you're not going to reach Neptune in your lifetime going at the level in which you're going. Even in an aircraft or a jet, you're not going to reach, or a Voyager, you're going to take forever to reach it. You'll probably be dead thousands of times before you reach it. However, you must take into consideration that Earth is not as it appears. Earth is a sound. Neptune is a sound. However, Neptune is minus hydrogen and helium, so as a result, you're getting rid of darkness, the grave clothes, and you'll be able to reach speed of light a lot sooner if you can change your mind. Prefrontal cortex, hippocampus, and amygdala. Many of you don't seem to understand what I'm sharing, and the reason you don't understand because you haven't reached the level of mind to understand it. So as a result, you can't accept what I'm saying as true because you have not the processing power to acknowledge it. But yet, that's okay. You don't have to have the processing power to acknowledge it because it acknowledges itself. I'm not looking for you to pat me on the back and say, damn, you're intelligent, because I'm not intelligent. I'm just normal. Unfortunately, we haven't reached normalcy, so we think we're normal. You're thinking the guy with the 200 IQ is intelligent? The guy with 200 IQ is literally unintelligent, but he's intelligent to those that haven't reached that level beyond what he is. Because you're all unintelligent. We must reach thousands upon thousands of IQ levels in order to be able to see what we can't see, because the view is distorted unless you reach a higher level of intellect. We're driving. I'm in the car. You see those cars in front of me. But in order to see them, you must first encode them. And as a result, it becomes form in the fabric of space and time. We are so unfortunately illiterate, but yet we don't think we are, because no one came back from not necessarily the future, but back from the beginning to say you are living in the past. I'm telling you, you're living in the past because you have not the cognitive abilities to know that you don't know, because you can't process the data fast enough to see it and measure the position and the velocity. I'm trying, St. Louis. Lord knows I'm trying. I'm trying my best to get you to understand that it's important for us to take that mountain. And once we take that mountain, not a devil in hell can stop us. I'm trying. I'm not going nowhere. I can't go nowhere. And the reason I can't go nowhere because I love you too much. Much is given, much is required. And stay tuned. We don't play the back seat to no one. And yes, by the way, we're fearless. You better ask somebody. God bless. Have a wonderful weekend.